What's up guys, welcome back to Fancy Goldfish Fanatics. Today we are talking about water conditioners and I'm going to show you about my budget dechlorinator that nobody knows about. So make sure you stay tuned to find out more. Hey Fanatics family, welcome back. As always, check out those links in the description and make sure you are part of the Facebook group. Today, as I said, I'm going to be talking about dechlorinators, and I'm sure this is something you've seen many times before, but I want to introduce you to a brand new dechlorinator that you probably don't know about, and if you do, well then you are a very lucky person. So today I'm going to be talking to you about sodium thiosulfate. Now, hopefully, if you already know about this, you're already using it. But for those who aren't, stick around for the rest of this video because it's going to be really informative and hopefully really helpful. Now, what I use to dechlorinate my tap water is sodium thiosulfate, and it comes in a bag just like this. So it's a sort of white crystal that you can dissolve in water. And what it does is it removes chlorine and chloramine from the water. Now, when you add sodium thiosulfate to your tap water will likely contain chlorine, chloramines. It will contain other things like heavy metals and maybe some organic pollutants like phosphates and nitrates, which unfortunately this chemical doesn't remove. However, this chemical causes an extra electron to bind onto chlorine, which forms a chloride ion. Now, a chloride ion is just like a harmless salt basically, so it's completely harmless to the fish, and it also breaks down chloramines into that chloride ion and also ammonia. Now, a lot of dechlorinators on the market will bind heavy metals as well, and they will remove your nitrates, your nitrites and your ammonia, like something like CHEAPEST Prime. The problem is, if you've watched the Pond Guru's video on this, you'll know all about it. But when you're stripping your water of your ammonia, nitrite and even nitrates, you're suffocating your filter bacteria in your established filter, and those colonies need that to feed on. So you're basically inhibiting the filter from doing its job, and these are natural inorganic components that are already in our water, and the filter's job is just to remove those. Now, I like to use sodium thiosulfate because it is super cheap and it removes that chlorine and chloramine from the water. Admittedly, it doesn't remove the heavy metals, so you could use a 3-pod purifier with some resins or some carbon to help remove those. I've shown that in a video many months ago, and I think quite a few of you paid attention to that, and quite a few of you have actually used or do now use one of those 3-pod purifiers, which is excellent news. So I'm going to go through the cost benefits to sodium thiosulfate, which really is super interesting. Now, I know the other dechlorinators on the market, like API TapSafe, Tetra AquaSafe, and CHEAPEST Prime, all have other bits and pieces that they do, as I said, like binding other bits in the water. I don't see them as that essential. Obviously, if you're binding something into the water, you're turning it into something else. So it's still in the water, but you're turning it into something else. It doesn't just disappear from the water completely. That's impossible. So I'm going to show you now the cost benefits to using this sodium thiosulfate. First up, you can buy sodium thiosulfate in a bag just like this, and I'm going to do the comparable for the dechlorinators. So I'm just going to compare a 1 kilo bag, for instance, if you bought like a 118ml bottle of API TapSafe or 250ml of AquaSafe, for instance, like that. So I'm going to be doing it on comparable sizes of bottles, etc. Obviously, if you're buying the huge 2-litre bottles, then it's obviously going to be much more cheaper, but I just want to give you guys a rough idea. So when I buy the sodium thiosulfate, 100 grams will treat 10,000 litres of water. Now, that 100 grams of sodium thiosulfate costs 72p. Now, for the comparable of API TapSafe, you will need, to treat 10,000 litres, you will need 132 millilitres of the API tap safe. Now that will run you £5.24. For the comparable of Tetra Aquasafe Pond, so that's not the aquarium, that's the pond one, which is even cheaper, you will need 500 millilitres, which will run you £14.98. And for Seachem Prime, you will need 250 ml of Prime, and that will cost you £10.99. Now those prices I've listed, excluding the sodium thiosulfate, are with a current discount on a website that I looked on, and you can currently get those at a discount rate, so those are quite good rates. And I've looked on the specific website, the API website, the Seachem website, and the Tetra website to get those dosage rates and calculate them for you. So now if I run it through again, you can really see the difference. So the sodium thiosulfate, so this is to treat 10,000 litres, the sodium thiosulfate will cost 72p, the API tap safe will cost £5.24, the Tetra Aquasafe will cost £14.98, and the Seachem Prime will cost £10.99. Now you can see that is a huge saving, especially if you're buying a 1 kilo bag of sodium thiosulfate. That 1 kilo will cost you about £7.20 delivered to your door, and that will treat 100,000 litres of water. So that is going to last, well, if you've got a small tank like me, that's going to last years really. If you've got a pond, it's so much more cost effective. Now admittedly, I hold my hands up, it doesn't bind these heavy metals, it doesn't remove your ammonia, your nitrite, etc. But it does neutralise that harmful chlorine and break down that chloramine. So I hope that video's been really helpful. If you want to buy some of the sodium thiosulfate, just look on something like eBay or Amazon. Now this is just my experience. I'm not telling you you have to do this or you can do this, and you need to do your own research and own due diligence, please. This is just what I do personally, but I just want to help you guys and give you money saving tips. That's it for this video. I'd like to thank you all for watching. I hope this video has been helpful. Remember to keep those water changes up and use sodium thiosulfate, and happy fish keeping.